Survive the night.
Survive the night.
Oh God! What's that? Oh God! Survive the night.
Is that is that the only horror soundtrack vinyl that you own?
Yeah, literally just bought it Thursday. Because I like to collect stuff.
No way.
We're talking about a vinyl that Ryan just purchased, which is the Exorcist soundtrack, the original Exorcist. You know, I'm just curious. Would it pick up on the mic if you played it?
We could try, maybe.
Whoa.
Pretty sure it's picking up.
Is that the bed shaking in the background? Holy shit.
I don't want to... It'd be scary to listen to this just by yourself.
Totally. I mean, it'd be good, like, ambient for like a Halloween party or something, maybe.
But yeah, I wanted to start collecting horror vinyls now, too, soundtracks and stuff, since, you know...
He's running out of other things to collect.
It's just so hard to find horror VHS.
It is.
I spotted that vinyl at a record store, and I was like, fuck. I just stood there for like a half hour.
Wasn't
like,
I with
fuck,
you?
I sent you a picture
Oh,
of
okay.
it.
Yeah, because I've seen it a few times, too, and I'm like...
Thanks for joining us on episode number 7 of Survive the Night. Were you going to say something, Andy?
7.
My name is Amir. I'm co-hosting with Andy.
Hi.
And Ryan.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about... I don't know if I mentioned it,
You
actually.
did not.
We're going to be talking about The Thing in this episode, the 1980s Thing, not the original, which was what, 60s?
Or was it a remake or a sequel?
It's a prequel.
A prequel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
From like 2012 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yow! So we start with the alien spaceship. Oh wait, there's a synopsis here, isn't there?
Okay, go ahead.
In remote Antarctica, a group of American research scientists are disturbed at their base camp by a helicopter shooting at a sled dog. When they take in the dog, it brutally attacks both human beings and canines in the camp, and unleashes a wave of paranoia amongst the crew there. Anyway, so that's how it starts. But actually, before all that happens, it does show, like in the title sequence, it does show the alien spacecraft flying to Earth, and then the title card saying The Thing.
What does the spaceship look like? Is it just your generic?
It's not super generic, but like it's very like a saucer. It's huge. It's a saucer. Has pretty lights. Pretty lights.
Can we clip that and then make it into a sweet like soundboard thing?
For what?
It's a saucer. It's big. It's a saucer.
He also said it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. I've seen bigger. So yeah, at the beginning, there's a helicopter shooting at the sled dog. It ends up at the U.S. Research station. There's a bunch. This is a movie only with men in it. There's no women in it, and it's all just a bunch of men hanging out,
Just a bunch of dudes being dudes.
trying to kill a sled dog. But it's the Norwegians that are shooting at this dog, and the Americans are like, "What the hell is happening here?"
Yeah, why are they shooting at the dog?
Yeah, why? Why are they?
Why?
Do you not know why?
No.
Oh, it's The Thing.
Oh, okay.
The scenes it shows for the Norwegian outpost or whatever, and then the American outpost, it's all in Stewart, BC.
Stewart, BC,
Right,
yeah.
right.
It's all filmed there.
Everything outside is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And everything inside was filmed at their studio, right?
There are some scenes where they did film it. They actually made a replica set, like indoor set, for this stuff in Stewart. So yeah, the Norwegians are trying to kill this dog. They end up landing. One of the Norwegians throws a grenade and it goes backwards. He throws it incorrectly and it blows up the whole helicopter and kills. Yeah.
How do you throw backwards?
He's
He's a soldier, isn't he?
No, they're not soldiers. They're research.
Why does he have a grenade?
Well, this is actually goes into a bit of the other stuff that I have written down here,
Okay.
but mostly with the American team. I don't. He's not a soldier though.
Yeah, why do you have a grenade with him? He's like, oh my god, I'm going to the Antarctic. I better bring a grenade.
I gotta blow up me some seal. But yeah, he blows up the helicopter, kills his the other person with him.
Fucking scientists, man.
Oh,
Just a bunch of nerds. No physical prowess whatsoever.
The worst.
Anyway, the Americans, one of them grabs a gun and shoots the Norwegian, killing him instantly. And the dog ends up back with the Americans, and obviously it doesn't explain why they were going after the dog yet.
Right. To jump in on that, in one of the first scenes where the dog, which is an Alaskan Malamute, does its creepy wailing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is crazy. It was created by Colin. I'm gonna say his name wrong. Colin Moet, I believe. He did sound for Dracula, Dead and Loving It,
Oh.
Child's Play 2, and Halloween 3.
What? All my favorite movies.
So to make the sounds, he rounded up all the dogs in his neighborhood and put them in his house. He then walked around the house slowly in a dark trench coat, tapping all the windows and doors, trying to get a yowl or some sort of fearful response out of the dogs.
Oh my God.
And that's how they made that sound.
That's dedication, man.
We'll play a clip of that sound for this part.
Oh, please.
Okay.
I have a note. Oh,
Yeah, that was the clip.
that was the clip. I have a note here that says that Wilford Brimley has always been old, and it's true. He's so old in this movie, yet not as old as obviously he got before he died, obviously. And
He only died last year. Wow.
oh,
It's kind of like Betty White. She's just
Yeah.
always been old,
just
right?
he's just always been this old curmudgeon of a man.
She's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that old bitch.
Whoa. We got something against Betty White.
Betty
She's
White, if you're
old.
listening to the podcast,
Oh, no.
shoot me an email. Okay.
What I remember Wilford Brimley from with the diabetes commercials.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll insert a clip of that too.
Please.
Diabetes.
He again plays like he plays the head scientist of this team, and he's the one that like does all the autopsies on the creature. But they haven't gotten to the creature yet. They end up flying back to the Norwegian base, and it has been destroyed. Like it's on fire. Parts of it are frozen. They end up seeing some of the people that were there. One guy slit his own. It looks like he slit his own throat and then slit his wrists, or the other way around.
Do you think they saw any polar bears like getting it on?
Are there polar bears up in that part of BC?
But it's supposed to be
No,
the
no, no.
Antarctic.
Oh,
Yeah, Antarctic.
Antarctica.
Right. Probably.
Antarctica?
Probably.
Yeah. Or like penguins sliding into each other. It's pretty hot.
Some tribbing penguins.
That's the first thing you think of when you're like, oh yeah.
Hey kids that listen to the podcast, go Google what tribbing is.
No. Anyway, so they discover this man, one of the Norwegians, has killed himself. It's the blood has frozen off his body, and then they discover another corpse that is this grotesque looking thing that has two heads that are like melded together.
Yeah.
And then they take it back for autopsy, and like discover like it has all these human parts in it, but it definitely doesn't look human. So what are you doing when you see something like that?
So before we get into that, what was the intention? Have we discussed the intention of the Americans being here in the first place? Like, are they
They
investigating?
never say why they are there.
Okay.
It's just a research team. I don't know what they're researching.
Cool dudes researching
The ice.
penguins tribbing.
That could be a shirt.
Please no.
If you guys want merch, penguins tribbing, send us a message.
So great. Yeah, I would. Well, if I'm there doing research, I would start to, I guess, study what the fuck this is and try to figure it out.
I think that would be everyone's Would that be your idea of that, or would you
No.
you'd hide from this?
I
Or-
would like say we went to the Norwegians, whatever, saw the mayhem that happened there, be like, okay, we need to leave
Yeah.
because I don't want to be here. I know we have a helicopter. Start it up.
They have a few helicopters.
Well, there you go.
They took a helicopter to get to that base.
I want my own helicopter.
If there's any listeners out there, please email Ryan a helicopter.
You can do that. I thought you fax helicopters.
Shit.
Anyway,
I hate this.
Oh.
I hate what's happening right now.
I wrote down here, autopsy, normal but gruesome. Normal being it has all the human parts are in the right spot, but it still looks fucked up.
Before we start really getting into it, can we? What's our thoughts on this film? Right, like Andy, how do you feel about
it? Is
the
my
film?
favorite horror movie.
of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
When I walked, I know we talked about this off air, but I don't feel this way anymore. Where initially I had said that it didn't really feel like a horror movie to me. After I had said that to Ryan and Andy off the air, I just did some more digging into it, and there's a lot of, I guess, the mental aspect of it is very horrific. You know, the isolation and that sort of thing, I think, really speaks to what horror is. You know, the suspense and the mystery of where they are and
The
stuff.
paranoia and not trusting your
The
friends.
paranoia is a
Yeah.
huge part of it, and then obviously all the practical effects of
Mhm.
violence are all just amazing. I can definitely see why it's a classic. Just sort of on, you know, what our thoughts were. One thing that I was reading about this movie was when it was initially released, it was critically panned. Like, people hated this.
Oh,
movie.
everybody hated it because E.T.
You
came out a
Son
week
of a
before.
bitch.
I don't hate it.
Taking my goddamn.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, I didn't realize that was one of yours.
Was that one
Yeah,
of your things?
it was a huge flop. It
Yeah.
did. It only made 20 million on a budget of 15 million.
Holy shit, man! That's
Which, by the way, this was like the most expensive horror movie of the time.
Mhm.
Like, to put it in perspective, this movie's budget was 15 million. Friday the 13th was 700,000, and Halloween was just 350,000.
whoa.
Well, that was also his that was John Carpenter's first movie was Halloween.
I
He
also
got-
don't agree with all of the critical interpretations of it when it came out. People were suggesting that they were trying to cash in on the genre being very popular around that time.
Can I read you guys some critics?
Yeah, That'd be,
reviews?
that'd be awesome.
Roger Ebert.
Oh, no.
Oh, he hates horror. Well, he's
He
dead
gave
now,
it a
but-
kinder review than most with 2.5 stars.
Wow.
He wrote that The Thing is a great barf bag movie. It's all right, but is it any good? I found it disappointing for 2 reasons. So that's how he talks, right? Yeah. Okay. The superficial characterizations and the implausible behavior of the scientists on that icy outpost. Characters have never been Carpenter's strong point. And this was a big thing for a lot of critics, was that like the characters just weren't there, which is like, okay, but did you
Did
see
you watch the movie?
the
'Cause
teeth come out of the dude's rib cage
Yeah.
and chew that guy's arms off? Like,
I thought watching it again, because I watched it again this week, and just seeing the interactions with all the characters, they feel like a family. They feel like very lived-in characters.
Yeah, the chemistry is great between characters.
There's no bad acting, really. There's some, like, Wilford Brimley can be kind of hammy, but
to go on with his critique here, his review, he's saying that the movie's basically just a geek show, a gross out movie in which teenagers can dare one another to watch the screen, which I kind of do agree with. Like, it's definitely one of those movies where it's like, ooh, can you watch it? Can you watch it? Andy?
stop saying it like that. Yeah, I usually just say if you really like movies that have really good practical effects, but also like if it's super gory, yeah, watch The Thing.
I just want to read this last bit here too. So he ends his critique with, because this material has been done before and better, especially in the original Thing and in Alien, there's no need to see this version unless you are interested in what the Thing might look like while starting from anonymous greasy organs extruding giant crab legs and transmuting itself into a dog. Amazingly, I'll bet that thousands, if not millions, of moviegoers are interested in seeing just that. Which, yeah.
Those are all the things I love in movies.
I wonder how a movie's perception so drastically changes after like a decade. Because 10 years later, people were calling this thing, a classic.
Mhm.
How does that happen? How does the reassessment of a movie change so dramatic? Like I understand some movies that are like meh when they release, but this movie was hated, and now people hail it as a classic. Even Carpenter himself calls it his favorite movie.
It's Oprah.
It's
You think
Oprah.
Oprah's fault?
Yeah, she put the stamp on it.
Oprah's book club.
Yeah, but it's Oprah's movie club.
That explains it. Thanks, Ryan.
I think it was because at the time it was like they gave you the perception of what an alien could actually be, which is like E.T. being very friendly.
Right.
Which,
Or Alien, the xenomorph.
yeah. But I think it just after time it just got better just because that whole idea of this friendly alien type of thing, it just kind of faded away.
And it's just crazy to me how people didn't think it was that good when, like, this is the scariest sounding alien, one that can
Yeah.
transform into other people or other living beings.
Also, with Roger Ebert saying that this movie has already been done before with Alien. I'm like, no, that's different.
Totally different.
Alien,
Yes.
they were a crew that trusted each other with everything they had, except for the one robot that was trying to kill everyone. But besides that, they were working as a team to kill this thing, whereas this is a movie about people not trusting each other.
I thought I heard music. I find it plausible that you guys didn't hear that.
Nope.
Okay, I'm obviously losing my
Lost his
mind. You guys still trust me though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, get the net.
We have a net.
I just find the way the alien works in this movie to be plausible. Like I could see that being something that exists out there that takes the form of people and
Well, that actually does exist in certain insects. There's things
True.
that actually take over the body,
yeah,
and it like
parasites.
parasites. Yeah.
So, to recap, The Thing is a good movie. Go watch it. All right, Andy, back to you with the plot.
So they've done the autopsy, and it's
Which was
normal
normal
and
but
gruesome.
gory.
Yeah. So the dog is finally put. The dog has been running around the base this whole time since they got it, and one of the guys wants the dog put away. So the main dog trainer, he escorts the dog back to the pen, and it immediately starts to change gruesomely. Its head is like split open, and there's a tongue, and there's tentacles flying everywhere. All the other dogs are freaking out. They're trying to escape. And then this creature starts spraying all the dogs with this goo. That's what happens.
Is the dog trainer still in there?
No, he
Okay.
left.
I was going to say, what if he saw like the tentacles and the ooze and stuff coming out, and he's like, okay, well, hold on a second. Maybe this could be something good.
No, it's not good. It's because if you if you've never seen this movie and didn't know what you were going into see, it's so surprising. Because it just happens immediately. The dog's head falls off,
And it's all practical effects,
Yeah.
which is, it just makes it,
it's insane. It makes the movie age so well.
yeah.
I mean, maybe this is a good time to sort of deviate and talk about the practical effects in the movie. Do you guys think it is sort of the best example of what practical effects can achieve in a horror movie?
I think it's definitely up there in like top 5. Personally, I think like the Hellraiser scene of him coming back to
Yeah.
life is one of the best I've ever seen.
I think I'm gonna put it up as number 1 for me, but or tied with Hellraiser.
But,
Because
like,
Hellraiser has some crazy stuff.
This is part of the reason why these old movies stand up still so well is because they had just amazing effects.
And on the other side of that, why some newer horror movies for me fail right away because the CGI just looks so stupid and out of place in a lot of movies.
And in 10 years, it's going to look ridiculous.
yeah,
If you want a example of that, go watch the Power Rangers movie. I thought that stuff was mind-blowing when I saw it as a child, and it's not good.
Do we categorize the Power Rangers movie as a horror film?
Yeah, Ivan Ooze.
Oh yeah,
It's terrifying.
Wait, was it CGI?
Yeah.
not
Oh.
Ivan
He
Ooze.
wasn't CGI. When they do their big battle they become CGI like the Transformers and all that stuff. They're
They're called Zords.
yeah, sorry. I just know Ivan.
I love that movie as a kid. Anyway.
Anyway, so the dog has transformed, and then the guy, his name's Clark. He's the dog trainer. I think he hits the alarm or something, or someone hits the alarm, and then McCready, played by Kurt Russell, like heads over to the alien screaming, and asks one of the other crew members to grab the flamethrower.
I just want to say that if I'm going out on an expedition, the one person I want to be led by is fucking Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah,
He's
100%.
so badass and everything.
This is where I got this question, like when we talked about like the whole like military thing.
Yeah.
Why does a American research science team have a
I
flamethrower?
was just about to ask
Yeah.
that. Why are there grenades, flamethrowers? They have guns too.
Yeah, they
right?
have tons of guns. They are American.
I mean, I thought they were supposed to be scientists and stuff.
I know, but they also have like it's multiple flamethrowers.
Well, maybe the intentions that are not explained are, they suggest that they might have to face,
Yeah.
combat of some sort.
Maybe they are researching the effects of flamethrowers and Antarctica's ice.
And maybe it was just for heat.
Yeah, it's just
But it's just that would be an interesting movie, like some side plot movie to know why they were actually out there with all
Yeah.
that stuff.
What about so you said this was a prequel, right? Oh,
No, this is just
this is a remake.
a remake.
yeah. This is the remake of the original, and then there's a newer movie.
Oh, right.
That's
It's
a
the prequel
prequel.
that actually takes place at the Norwegians' camp.
So have you guys seen the original?
I have.
Does that explain anything more about why they're around?
No, they're both very different movies. They just take little things from that from the original and
yeah. So this is also they're all based on a book
Mhm.
called "Who Goes There" by John W. Campbell. So
I'm
I'll
pretty sure
probably
it's-
read it because I like to read horror books, and maybe it says in there.
I think that this movie is closer to the book than the original movie was. McCready gets the flamethrower and then he burns the creature before it starts, like it flies up into the ceiling. It like you can see like this eye forming on it, and then another like a giant mouth comes out protruding. It's something to see. What would you do, Ryan?
I'm finding that in the majority of these movies, the things that I would do would be like I just wouldn't be there.
I know, but you're there. I'm
I see it.
sorry.
I have the flamethrower. I'm closing my eyes
You're
and
probably
just waving it back
You're
and
probably
forth.
just gonna burn the fucking thing and run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would toss a grenade into the fucking mouth.
Yeah, I don't know if they had grenades though.
They had dynamite.
Oh, they had dynamite. Yeah.
Toss fucking dynamite into that
Yeah.
bitch's mouth.
I guess this whole thing really doesn't apply for this part. For what would you do? I think it would apply more to when people are not able to trust each other.
Hmm.
You know
True.
what I'd be doing because I'm Kurt Russell? I'd be fucking.
Who's there to fuck in Antarctica?
All the men there.
I mean, there's
They could be getting like
penguins.
isolation madness, and he's making a snowman, but it's a snow woman with titties.
Oh my
A s-
God.
a snow sex doll.
Anyway, the creature's killed.
We should make a shirt with Ryan fucking a snow sex doll.
I'm not drawing that. You have
I'm
to
sorry.
hire someone else to do that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you with Ryan fucking.
So the creature is killed, and then they bring the corpse back to being to be autopsied again, and then the doctor Wilford Brimley, I forget his name. I think it's Blair.
Yeah, it's God damn it, I had it right here. Give me 1 second. The doctor is Dr. Copper. Dr. Blair Copper?
Dr. Blair.
It's Blair. Yeah.
Blair. Okay.
What's his last name?
Copper's a different character, I think.
You're
It's Dr. Copper.
Oh, it is Dr. Copper.
get fucked.
Sorry. Anyway, Dr. Copper.
No, I'm sorry. That's incorrect.
Oh,
Richard Dysart plays Dr. Copper.
see?
So you're wrong.
No,
It's-
you're wrong.
Am
Yeah,
I
you're
wrong?
wrong.
How am I wrong?
Because you said Dr. Copper was Wilford Brimley.
No, Because you were saying that the doctor is examining it.
Oh, there's a bunch of doctors.
Okay.
One of the doctors is he's doing the
Autot.
Why did I decide to eat this big pile of toffee? Anyway, he's doing the autopsy, and he's saying that there are other parts of this of different creatures inside of this one creature, and that it's trying to imitate dogs, which was where the dog was placed. Was
Sorry, it's just the dog that's trying to imitate dogs. He's just like, bark, bark, dog. I'm a dog. Woof,
woof,
wag,
woof,
my tail.
bow wow. Anyway, so that's it's imitating these creatures. This is when they start to distrust each other because they're starting to think that this thing can imitate humans also.
Well, the moment you find out it can imitate stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be like,
I'm getting the
oh, you're all fucked.
yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way, like if they have like a safe word or something that they could decide on to say, hey, what's the safe word? You say it or you're the alien, we'll kill you.
You need a safe word.
Yeah.
But you could just... Okay.
What? But the alien was able to mimic them, so
Yeah.
they would know the safe word.
Like, it would
so?
know that
Okay.
if it takes over you, it knows exactly
Well, then,
how
yeah,
to
then
be
you don't fucking trust anybody.
It's a perfect imitation.
Well, that's
You can't
bullshit.
trust anybody.
Fuck
What you
that.
need to do is become blood brothers. Cut yourself
Oh.
the blood.
But that wouldn't... If even even like a little tiny prick of blood gets into your blood, if it's the thing, it can take you over.
Well, there you go. Then you're true.
Then you're the thing.
blood brothers.
Yeah, okay.
Anywho,
That's why they start saying like, oh, everyone should start having to cook their own meals, eat out of cans, because it's just like a disease that's taking over. And
nobody can touch my piss pot. This is mine.
So they eventually find some footage from that Norwegian camp that they had traveled to, and there's a bunch of videos about them discovering the ship and blowing it out of the ice.
Do you think they're like,
Wow, that bad, eh? Can't even spit it out.
do you think they're like, oh yeah, we found
What the fuck?
we found a spaceship.
Sorry to everyone from the Netherlands. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess that was more Swedish, right?
Oh, yeah. Which is quite funny because McCready throughout the whole movie thinks they're Swedish.
Mm.
He keeps
Well, there you go. I
he
knew it
keeps saying-
the whole time.
He keeps saying, "Oh, those darn Swedes" or something, and they're like, "Norwegian. They're Norwegian, Mac." Anyway, that's my. What the fuck?
You
Sorry,
can
there's
continue.
a cat staring at me. So they find that the alien has burst out of the ship, and it has frozen, or it burst out of the ship and then walked a few miles and then just basically lay dormant for someone to find it. And obviously someone did. The doctor starts to calculate what would happen if the alien had made it to the mainland or to the more populated areas, and it said that the entire world would be infected 27,000 hours from first contact.
Wow.
So that's what always kind of scared me about this, is like how big of the movie takes place in like one place, but like
How big it could become.
how big it could become, which I always feel like for sequels and stuff they could have done something crazier, and they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, for sure. That the whole like alien or like disease parasite thing spreading through like civilizations always freaked me out. Like in The Thing, that the book The Troop is also terrifying in that sense, where it could be something spreading through people. That stuff freaks me out for sure.
To talk about like other like literature or whatever, there's a comic book called The Spread, and it literally is about if the alien did escape Antarctica and took over the whole world. There's one line that someone says that all these things should have been burned, but because they're all scientists, or at least most of them are, they needed to study them, which has caused them to be infected.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's character is not a scientist, right?
No, he's just a
McCready?
helicopter pilot. What did I say?
No, it's just he's a helicopter pilot, but he's like manning everything. He's got a flamethrower and stuff.
Yeah, he takes on the role as leader like quite
He's like, hey,
fast.
I may just be a helicopter operator, and I'm just here to fly you here and out, but I'm gonna run this bitch.
Yeah.
That also seems to be just such a trope in so many movies, are these scientists that just can't let it go, and their curiosity gets the better of them and eventually humanity. Stop it, scientists. Just let it go.
Just let it go. Don't
Don't
just burn the
study it.
creatures.
Exactly.
Cut off their limbs.
We must study it.
That's from Dead Space. The character Bennings, one of the other scientists, he was like checking something out in the storage closet where they put one of the corpses, and then the character Windows comes in and then notices that Bennings has been grabbed by the thing and is starting to transform into him.
Oh fuck!
So they all chase him out of the storage room, and they before they light him on fire, they see that he is like half transformed, and then this scream comes out of it, what you've described earlier.
Right, the creepy dog wailing scream.
Right.
You can see like his hand is fucked up. I don't know how else to describe it.
Descriptive.
That's how I would write things. I'd be like,
That hand got
so
fucked up.
he's wearing plaid and nice blue jeans. His hand's fucked up. McCready and I feel a bunch of other people have discovered that the helicopters have been destroyed and parts have been removed, which implies that somebody wants them to stay there.
Is it implied or shown that it's the thing, the alien that's doing it, or
They just know it's somebody, obviously that is the thing.
but is it obvious though? Like, could you maybe think
But why would anyone
on
want-
another line where it's somebody who's like, "This is the greatest discovery we've ever
It
made.
could have been.
I don't want to leave here."
But yeah, they just think it's somebody has done that. They don't think it's the alien, but and then so they end up going back inside. Blair has gone crazy, and he's like swinging an axe and shooting a gun and destroying all the research, which we still don't know what even is.
You know why? Because
he
his
doesn't-
sugar levels are
Oh
low.
my god.
He's got diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah. So and he's also killed all the other dogs. Instead of like doing the humane thing. By,
What would the humane thing be?
not killing them.
But then they just turn into things.
So he did the right thing by putting an axe in their head.
I mean, he could have done it a better way.
Yeah. Actually, they did show beforehand that they were using like a syringe or
Okay,
something
well, there you go.
to kill the dogs. But no, he just took an axe to them. He was like, "Oh, these are all Cujo to me." Oh, all the blood has been tampered with too, because they wanted to do a blood serum test.
Well, before we go any further, then I guess Blair, he's going crazy. You're Kurt Russell. You've got beautiful 80s hair.
It's more of his beard that I like in that movie.
Beautiful 80s hair. Andy, what would you do if you saw...
And you had to take out your coworker?
Well, I'm not saying you have to, but you just see it. What do you do in that moment?
Oh man. Probably just wait until he ran out of bullets first,
It's probably a good idea.
and then plan my attack, because they don't run. They do wait until he's actually shot all of the bullets. He actually ends up throwing the gun at them.
For some reason, I thought you meant Kurt Russell's character.
Oh.
He's like that.
Yeah.
Amir, beautiful, flowing 80s hair. It's a mullet, right?
Kind of.
It's like that old 80s style of
old
mullet.
80s
yeah.
mullet.
It's a
yeah.
little more full than a mullet, but
I think what they did in that situation probably was the best best idea. They didn't really try to calm him down as much, but they also had another person in the room that was like attacked by him.
Yeah, I think you just take him out. I don't think you wait. Yeah, that's what I would encourage the rest of my sane team to do, is take this motherfucker out.
Yeah, you take the gun, you turn it sideways. That's a kill shot. Bruh.
Oh. When this happens, they've oh my god. I can hear you. So the blood is gone. They are fucked. They wanted to do this blood serum test, which they would have been able to see who the thing is. And yeah, Blair has gone crazy. They want to what do you call it? Oh, so there's a character named Norris. He's very soft spoken, hasn't said probably anything.
It's like, hey guys, I just think we should.
Is that Andy?
Just want to be part of the team. So Norris is they want him to take the gun and to be the leader of the group, because they're being very untrustworthy of everybody having the gun, and no one knows this yet, but he's the thing. And he also says that I don't want this responsibility. He's trying to blend in.
It's like, no, my fellow humans, I do not want the gun.
Wolf.
See, I think that's what makes it even creepier, is the fact that when they're mimicked, that they take on the full intellect of a human as well, which is terrifying.
Yeah, taking on like their memories, just like everything they know, and being like a perfect
Somehow like
clone.
absorbing their brain and stuff to get all that.
So at this point, there's another character named Fuchs. I think he ends up just freaking out, and he doesn't want to be there. It doesn't show his death, but it is implied that he lit himself on fire to get away from the thing to take over him.
That's like the dumbest decision. Like, being burned alive is like top 3 worst ways to die.
What's the top 2?
I don't know. I just know it's like up there as one of the worst ways you can die.
It would be one of the most painful ways to die.
There was a fucking gun.
Yeah.
I'd have just been like, yeah, see that gun? Put a bullet in my head.
Yeah. Drowning, getting burned alive.
To be honest,
Drowning is supposed to be really peaceful, actually.
I heard it's awful.
No. The moment you take the water in, your body just shuts down, so you're just floating there.
Huh.
So in the next episode, you're going to try this out for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next episode of Survive the Night podcast, Ryan
doesn't survive the pool.
Ryan does not survive the night. He's going to show you, well, I guess not show you, but tell you all how to get away with murder.
Okay. So at this point in the movie, they all think Mac is the thing because they found some of his shredded clothes that say his name on it. But that could have been anybody with McCready on his. I think it was his underwear or something.
One of them's like, yeah, that's McCready, all right.
This is when it starts getting into more of the iconic scenes of the movie, but the Norris
You could just say Norris thing.
The Norris thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Norris has a heart attack, which is weird. I still don't understand this part, because like, if it imitates you, does it take on any of your ailments?
Or maybe it can only sustain itself for so long before it needs to find a new host
Yeah,
kind of thing.
because I always found this scene to be kind of weird, because his character Norris has a heart attack and then goes on to they try to save him by using
defibrillator.
Yeah, and I didn't know if this is like the thing just trying to like attack, but it doesn't really want to attack. It tries to blend in. So maybe the body just gave up. So yeah, Norris has the heart attack, and the doctor goes for the defibrillators, and the doc's arms go right through the guy's chest and are ripped off, and the Norris monster comes out of the chest. It's like this weird tentacled thing with like Norris's face, but also like it looks monstrous.
Yeah, the chest like turns into a mouth basically, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And again, most of them are like, oh no, this. And then the guy in the back's like, hold on a minute. Maybe we got something here with those tentacles.
So it shoots into the ceiling, and then immediately McCready goes for the flamethrower because he's in the corner, like ready to blow up everybody at this point.
So before we move on, I'd like to talk about this scene a little bit. This scene, what they did for the practical effects was crazy. So the scene basically is Dr. Copper. He's attempting to revive Norris when his arms plunge into Norris's chest and disappear into the cavity, and they get severed below the elbows from the jaws in Norris's chest, right?
And the doc dies from
Yeah.
this.
So they used a stand-in for Norris, and the stand-in was a he had lost both his arms below the elbow. So it was an double amputee that they had a stand-in as. His name was Rob Bodian, something like that. Or no, sorry, Rob Bodian is the special effects designer. He outfitted the man with 2 prosthetic forearms consisting of wax bones, rubber veins, and jello.
Holy shit.
Wow.
And then for the wide angle shots where it shows Dr. Copper's face,
Mm-hmm.
he fit the man with a skin-like mask from a mold of Dysart, the guy who plays Dr.
Wow.
Copper's face.
I never really even looked at that.
Yeah, so that's something to, like,
Huh.
if anybody watches after we talk about it, really take a look at that.
Yeah, because that scene is super iconic. There's also the part like right after that when Max starts to burn the creature, and then Norris's head starts to rip off.
Right.
Like it starts to tear, and you can see like his tongue is going everywhere, and then the head falls off, and then it starts to sprout the spider legs and starts to crawl away.
I hate it.
Beautiful.
So cool. And then there's that classic line like by Palmer, I think is his name, and he says, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
Oh, I thought it was going to be, I'm tired of all these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
You damn dirty apes!
Somebody stop me.
Do you have any quotes for us?
No.
Oh, come on.
Swear to me.
Thank you.
That one actually kind of works.
Yeah.
He'd go up to everybody and be like, swear to me that you're not the thing.
Yeah. That part is done. And then they're going back to doing this blood serum test, but this time it's supposed to be putting heat or flames to people's blood.
They
'Cause
just heat up some like wire coil or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Because there's an interaction with blood and fire that activates the thing. Mac ends up shooting Clark because Clark has a knife and just goes after McCready because he's in control, doesn't believe of what's happening, and McCready kills him, and it shows that Clark was not the thing; he's just a person.
Which really shows into like the paranoia and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah,
that sets
because they
in,
both
right?
didn't trust each other. I also didn't mention that McCready he has the flamethrower and dynamite in his hand because they thought he was the thing. He came back in.
And he was like,
I'll blow
us
everybody
all
up.
I don't give a
I
shit.
trust that I'm not the thing, and I'll blow everybody up and take you guys with me. So there's the blood test scene. It like builds suspense up. And then like it finally is revealed that Palmer is the thing, where he heats up the coil and then it like just spurts out and it screams.
Yeah, I didn't find anything on that. Amir, you want to maybe look that up while Andy continues?
What specifically?
How they did the blood like shooting up effect.
I could not find anything on that either because it's just such a weird.
There's nothing on the extras for the Blu-ray or anything.
No, they talked about everything else except that scene. It's a great scene. That part always scares me because you don't really expect it because a lot of the person you suspect at that time of being the thing doesn't turn out to being the thing.
Right.
So Palmer kills the character Windows. He turns into the thing. His head splits in half, and these sharp teeth are shown. Throws Windows across the room, chomping on him. Mac burns it, and then there's this another like a flame walk scene where someone is lit on fire and they crash through the building, and it's kind of a funny scene, but it's not because the way the guy goes through the wall, it looks like the wall is made out of nothing, like it's made out of graham cracker. So yeah, it looks like the guy who when he crashes through the wall looks like it's made like
Graham cracker.
it looks like nothing but it should look like something because they're in the Arctic.
Right.
So you think it'd be more.
You think it'd be more resilient, but don't quote me on this because I'm just spitballing here. I think like most of those like encampments up there, they're just quickly made. They're not heavy duty
Right.
stuff.
It's true.
That makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I mean, he still shouldn't be able to just be like the fucking Kool-Aid man going through it, but
and then there's the character Gary. By the way, all the characters are tied to the couch if they are not, they're all
if they're not the thing.
yeah. If they're still being investigated,
They're
they are
tied to the
tied to the couch, and whoever has been cleared of it is free to go. But the character Gary says, like, please look this up for me, Amir. But there's a great, it's like called the couch line from the thing where we'll add it in later, but he says like, I don't want to spend my whole life tied to this fucking couch. It's a great line.
He says, I know, gentlemen, I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch.
It's just so great because of how like he's just such a like, you know, he's very quiet but and reserved, and then just goes into that. So Gary is released. I think all of them are released at that point, and then they realize that Blair has gone missing. He's not in his cabin where they had stored him.
Oh.
Thank you. So he hasn't. He's hiding, but they don't know where he is. And then they check underneath his cabin, and underneath the cabin is a ship, a makeshift.
Makeshift. A makeshift ship.
A makeshift ship. And it's a tinier ship of the one that they had previously seen, just to get the alien out of there.
Right.
But then they end up blowing it up because
America.
So that happens. The whole thing is blown up. They realize at this point that the thing can't escape now because the ship has been blown up, and now it just wants to freeze and wait for the rescue team to come and find it. So they start to blow up all the generators. They start lighting everything up on fire just to get it, maybe to show itself one last time so they can kill it.
This might be at the end of the movie, not necessarily the part you're talking about, but that was real dynamite they were using.
Wow.
And
Kurt
Russell, excuse me, one scene he gets blown back. That was real. He gets blown back from the explosion. He almost died from throwing the dynamite too close.
Fucked.
I'll talk about it a little bit later, like when you have more of your facts. But like, yeah, they did a lot of crazy things just to get this movie made. So they burn the station or blow up the generators. They're still looking for Blair. He's still missing. Blair grabs Gary by the face and like starts to like wiggle his fingers into his flesh. It's really frightening because obviously that doesn't happen.
What if, hear me out on this, what if that's just like a really, really good massage?
No.
I mean, how would you know though, right?
Those scenes always freak me out just because like it makes it look like the skin is so malleable, and it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is. Certain people have a condition that make it like that.
Where
like
you
your
can
skin is incredibly.
Well, like how he was putting like his fingers into his flesh, it made it look like it was in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could do that. I mean, you might die or not feel very good.
No,
But,
yeah. I'm sure you could do it, but you can't do it without killing somebody.
well,
Well,
not if you're not good at it.
that's for the police to decide. The other character goes missing. That was helping McCready plant all these like the dynamite and everything. The Blair monster comes up from the ground. Like tentacles everywhere. Blair is
Again,
tentacles. Yeah.
Kurt Russell's like,
Oh my god.
well, hold on a minute. Maybe we got something here.
Maybe Maybe that'll work for me. Anyway,
I gotta get the
Amir-
president of Japan on the line.
It's just tentacles, man.
You okay?
I don't want tentacles in my ass like Ryan does.
No, who said anything about an ass?
Where else? Is
Yeah,
it
it could be in your mouth, your nose.
I mean, that's true.
Tentacles can go anywhere.
Pee-pee hole.
Right. Oh man, that's the worst.
Hey, email us at survivethenightgmail or survivethenightpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us where you want the tentacles to go. On a mirror.
You get on a mirror. You get 50 points if it's on your pee-pee hole.
Now, everyone's gonna say their pee-pee hole now.
But maybe you get more points from other areas.
So the Blair monsters come out of the
Blair
ground.
thing.
Blair
It's
thing.
technically called the Blair
I
thing.
know it is.
You fucking
Get
fake
off
fan.
my ass. The Blair thing comes up out of the ground. It's like a combination of Blair and like there's a T-Rex face attached to him
Yeah.
and a dog coming out of his chest. You know, that
Which is
it's pretty
really fucking cool because
yeah.
it means it implies that this being has been there
since the
Since
dinosaurs.
the dinosaurs.
Yeah, that is really
Which
cool.
would be another fucking awesome movie.
Oh
It
my
really
God.
would.
How would that even go about though? Like, would you have these dinosaurs talking? Like,
No, it'd be a silent movie. Nobody's talking. There's just some fucking sweet guitar licks being
I
played.
was just hoping it would be kind of be like what's that movie? The animated movie with the dinosaurs.
That really narrows it down.
There's
Things.
like no movies made about animated dinosaurs.
Land Before Time.
Yeah, it's like Land Before Time meets The Thing.
Wow.
No, what I want it to be is you guys know that old children's show Dinosaurs
Oh yeah, like this
where they're like puppets.
Yeah.
or
It's not
like,
even really a children. It's a PG show.
Yeah, I
It's for
remember that.
families.
Anyway.
yeah,
It's like
children.
this. It's like The Simpsons,
And it-
but like with dinosaurs.
Oh my god! Just
Okay,
let me get
yeah.
through. Anyways, I imagine the movie's got them in it. That's what we should just do, a crossover between them and the Thing. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would work.
Yeah, somebody make that movie.
Okay.
They have to resurrect the dinosaurs though, because they all got wiped out.
Oh right, they all died at the end.
This will be a prequel.
A prequel where they fight the Thing.
One thing that I can't stop thinking about is where they
Those tentacles are gonna
Well-
go.
well that, and also how they conceptualize the designs of these creatures. One of the things I read was that there was some inspiration from like H.P. Lovecraft novels.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like to visualize these things and then create them like this, like that's so massive.
They got it from H.P. Lovecraft. That's crazy because there's no inherent racism in the Thing.
There's a bit of racism.
Never mind then.
Yeah. There's a little bit.
I take back
but it's
what
only
I said.
it's only because of the characters not trusting a black man
Right.
with a gun. So yeah, Mac ends up killing the creature, which seemed very simple. Very simple. He just throws a piece of dynamite that I guess they've also planted like explosives all around the place, but he just throws one piece of dynamite and then says "fuck you too," and it blows up.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense because couldn't like you were saying,
Wouldn't
like the
he
blood would just get like all those little pieces means that now there's just more of it.
Also,
right?
I don't know how he survives at the end. I think it just implies that he is the Thing at the end, where he meets up with the character Childs, played by Keith David, I believe his name is, and they both have a conversation at the end and a drink together, and no one knows who the Thing is at that point. Everyone kind of implies that it's McCready, but again, it's just so ambiguous.
Yeah, they share a bottle of scotch.
Yeah. So if one of them wasn't the Thing at that time, they both are because they're sharing a drink together.
Indirect kiss. I get it.
Hit us with some facts, Ryan.
Like I was saying, it was filmed. At least the parts outside were filmed in Stewart, BC. And two fans, 21 years later, actually went out there and found the remains of Outpost 31.
Holy shit, that's
and
awesome.
the helicopter, and actually took a piece of the helicopter home.
They used to have actually like it was like
A museum?
not a museum, but like they actually took up people to go see part of the set.
Okay.
Like a tourist attraction. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but you actually had to take a helicopter up there.
Fuck. That'd be so cool. I would love to do that.
A crazy thing is this movie, while it was in development, They were in talks for having Toby Hooper direct it, who created Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Did Poltergeist?
That would have been such a different movie.
Oh yeah, he wanted to make it a massive, like, epic where it was man versus monster, set at the bottom of the world, like in the ice.
Okay.
And there would have been no shape shifting or anything at all.
Oh. Like, I love Toby Hooper, but that doesn't sound great. How about anything to do with, like, an accident almost killing the crew? Did you get anything on that?
I didn't find a whole lot other than, like, the Kurt Russell almost blowing himself up.
Okay.
For the end scene where they're fighting the Blair Thing, they originally wanted to do a stop motion epic for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they had hired Randall Cook, who also worked on Ghostbusters, Fright Night, Poltergeist 2, and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, to create a stop motion scene, which he did. Like, he even made, like, a miniature scene for it and the creature. He did all this stuff for it, and then they just never used it.
I feel like that might have looked out of place against all the other effects in the movie.
So I did see it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on YouTube,
Oh,
so
wow.
maybe we can shoot a link or something on our socials.
It looks cool, but yes, it does feel kind of out of place.
But that's the big thing, is like, there's so much work that was just like, nope. That's probably where most of that 15 million went.
It's kind of like the same thing with what happened with, like, Jurassic Park. It actually, when it first started, they did stop motion, and then they were like, there's a guy working on the CGI, and they were like, this looks way better.
Didn't you introduce me to that guy? He's worked on some other shit for like years and hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. Phil Tippett.
The last thing I have here is just really interesting, and again, I think we should put this up on our socials. Fangoria magazine at the time did a contest to drum up some appeal for The Thing. It was called Draw the Thing, where people were asked to draw what they thought the thing would look like.
Oh, that's so cool.
And there's a website that has some of the entries that were sent in, and they're really cool looking. Yeah.
I'll link that to the podcast episode, actually. 'Cause
That's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So the one thing I saw from watching, like, the Blu-ray extras of this movie was that this is like the cast and crew talking about their experiences filming it. So when they were filming in, what was the town?
Stewart.
So when they're in Stewart, they were taking a bus back and forth between the town and where they were filming, and they got caught in a snowstorm, and their bus almost went off a cliff.
I did read that.
Yeah. And they almost all died.
One thing I picked up really quickly was that actually principal photography earlier, before they switched the location to Stewart, was actually in Juneau, Alaska.
Yeah. It's like pretty close, right? Isn't it just on the border?
I believe so.
This is one of those just iconic movies. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. I know quite a few people still don't like the movie, but for what it is, it's
We don't talk to those.
it's a classic. It paved the way for other things, right?
Other things?
Other things. We got jokes here.
I feel like it's surprising that, especially based on sort of the kind of ambiguous ending, that there wasn't a sequel. I know there were plans for many sequels that just kind of fell through.
It's probably because obviously it didn't make money at
Right.
the time, but they are doing a new Thing movie.
Oh,
I don't know when that's coming out or what it is even about, but I do hope it is better than the last one, because the last one it had the idea of it being really cool, but all the practical effects that they used in it were all glossed over by a CGI thing.
Thanks for joining us on episode 7 of Survive the Night. We were talking about The Thing. In the next episode, we're going to be discussing a movie called The Ritual, which came out in 2017. So if you haven't watched it, do it, and we'll talk to you on that episode. My name's Amir, co-hosting here with Andy and Ryan.
Yes.
If you want to follow us on our socials, Instagram is s.t.n_podcast. If you want to tweet at us, it's StNpod. And if you want to send us an email, and please do if you have any recommendations for movies to cover, it's survivethenightpodcast@gmail.com.
And don't forget to enter our contest where you email us where the tentacles would go on or in a mirror.
Okay, thanks. Talk to you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.